Youth Essentials here. For today's video, I'm going to be starting off with wood that I'll be using as a base to make a large Z Gallery style mirror. I'm doing this for a friend, and I'll be using the measurements of her wall to guide me to make the appropriate cuts that I'll need for the project. I'll be making the cuts with my handy saw, and I'll leave a link for this down in the description box below. Now I'm going to be gluing foam boards that I got from Walmart that's really hard, and this will be glued on top of the wood using wood glue. If you're new to my channel, it's so great to have you here. Now don't forget to click on the subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my latest videos. It is really important to fortify the base for the mirrors, so I'm going to try my best to show you guys on camera how I did it. Oh, and speaking of cameras, here's this little cutie who just loves to be in front of the camera. One set of foam board on top of the wood is not going to be enough, so I'm going to double it. I need the wood and the boards to be firmly together when they're getting dry, because it's really important that the base is solid and at the same time can be used for the mirrors, because you don't want the mirrors falling down on you after you have it mounted on the wall. It doesn't matter what kind of colors of foam boards you use as long as you use the hard foam boards. I use the hot glue gun to keep some of the edges down. I'm prepping 4 boards for this mirror design because I don't want it to be too heavy when it's been lifted up to mount it on the wall. I have all the 4 boards here that I have prepped. I'm just going to put heavy items on top of them so that they can dry. And I'm going to leave this for about 4 hours. Now they are perfectly and tightly glued together. I'm going to be covering the top of each of them with mirror reflective paper, and the link for this is going to be down in the description box below. I'm going to keep this aside and then start prepping the cardboard boxes that I would need to make the pattern that would be on top of the foam boards before I have the mirrors attached to them. After getting the cuts that I want, the one that's going to be in the middle, it's not going to go right down to the bottom. I'm just going to make a slight cut in a way that I can fold the board and it would still have its shape. I use brand new boxes for this because it's harder than the boxes that have already been used. When I was making the cuts, I made them in such a way that when they're folded, it will give me 10 inches by 10 inches because that's the measurements of the mirrors that I'll be using for the project. I'm going to keep these aside and then go back to the board that has been covered with contact paper, and I'll be making deep grooves on these boards. As you can see, after I draw out a line, I make another one to make it easy for me to carve out and have deep grooves where I'll be able to insert the cardboards. Each side of the cutout cardboard boxes will have mirrors, and the distance between them is 16 inches. So when I spread out the boards, it's going to be measuring 16 inches. After I was done with the first line at the top, I went down to start the second line. All the patterns that will be on the second line is going to be in the middle of the patterns that are on the first line. Now, because the second line will not have two full mirrors, when I get to the end, all I'm going to do is have just one, and then the flaps for the cardboard on the other side is going to be cut in such a way that it would have the same height as the remaining pattern so that when they'll be joined together on the wall, it's going to flow. I'm going to fortify this by using a stronger adhesive in between the cardboards. Here's my little cutie again, saying he wants to finish the project. Kids. So guys, just so you know, the reason why I'm using cardboards to make this pattern is because it would help give the mirrors a definite shape. The mirrors can be glued as they are, but it will be better to have them seated on a shape rather than gluing them without support. Now I removed the pads at the back before attaching the mirrors to the cardboards. That way it stays flat. I used real mirrors for this project because I want it to look really nice and elegant. And I used 12 mirrors on each of the wooden boards that have been covered with foam boards. All I'm doing now is cleaning off the adhesive from the mirror to make it easy for me to do the final cleaning when the project is finished. These are command strips that I'm going to be using for the project, and each pair can hold up to 16 pounds. I got the black and white, and this is how I attach them at the back. I have just one installed, and then 2, 3, and 4. This is such an elegant piece, and I love the way they look like together. Now this is what it looks like at the end, the side that touches the wall, and on the other side you have empty cardboard showing. So what I did was to cover a poster board with contact paper and attach them there. Now this side here looked like it was kind of empty, so I decided to make another line to make it look at least fuller on the wall. This is where they meet. And I was kind of disappointed because you can kind of see where the join is, especially how this other mirror overlaps the other one. Now that really bothered me a lot, but then my friend told me, hey, it's okay because from afar no one's gonna see it. And she really likes it. So that made me feel a lot better. The table that you see here is a project that my friend and I did together. And the link for that is going to be down in the description box below. I love the simplicity and the uniqueness that this pattern has on the wall. guys, Universe Essentials here. For today's video, I'm going to be making vases, and it's going to look like that of Z Gallery, but with a twist. I'm using an empty contact paper roll, and I'll be cutting it down to 6 inches. I'll use cardboard boxes and cut out shapes that I want for the design. If you're new to my channel, it's so great to have you here. Now don't forget to click on the subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my latest videos. I made 32 pieces. Now I'm going to be gluing it on to the roll. I have a couple of DIY vases that I've used this method in making them, and they will all be down in a playlist called Vases, and it's going to be in the description box below. Now what I'm going to do is cover the entire thing with duct tape. Next will be to make the shape on top, and I'll be using a poster board for that. I'm going to make the inside stronger with cardboard. I'll be covering the top with foam board. I want a perfect circle for the top, so I'll be using a compass to achieve that. Because inside the vase is rough, I'm going to be cutting out a piece from a poster board and then gluing it on the top that I just made, and that should be able to hide all the other pieces of the cardboard box that are showing in the vase. Now I'm going to be gluing the pieces together. I'll be using a strong adhesive and a hot glue gun. And I'll use duct tape to connect the top to the base. I later decided to just add something else at the bottom that's going to be for the base. I'll be attaching this to the bottom with a strong adhesive and a hot glue gun. I'll be decorating my vase with cement roses. And I made this using molds. I've used this for a couple of videos, and I will leave a link for the videos that I've used cement roses on down in the description box below. I'm going to be gluing them on using a strong adhesive and a hot glue gun. Like I said before, I have a couple of videos where I've used cement roses to work on them, and this is one of them. I use this on my patio and I really love it. The link is also going to be down in the description box below. Now, after I was done attaching the roses, I had some spaces there, like this one here. That's a large space, so I'm going to cover that with another leaf that I made from a leaf mold. When I was done, I took it out and I spray painted it silver. I used 3 coats of silver spray paint, and when it was dry, I brought it in, and then I filled up all the open holes with gems. And then I'll be making a pattern starting from here using mirror mosaic tiles. They're self-adhesive, and I attach them 2 inches apart from one another. And here's the final look. I didn't want my vase to look exactly like that of Z Galleries because I wanted it to be a little bit different, to be among the collection of vases that I have. Now, this is what the Z Gallery vase looks like side by side with it. Now, I decided to just make another vase by using an old vase and covering up a poster board that's been reinforced with cardboard and covering it up with reflective mirror paper and attaching it to it. And covering up the point of the attachment with mirror mosaic tiles. And this is what all 3 vases look like together. If you're into vases, don't forget to check out the link that's on the playlist down in the description box below for vases. Hey guys, YouTube Essentials here. For today's DIY video, I'm going to be starting off with Dollar Tree frame. I picked an 8x10 frame, and now I'm going to go ahead to remove the parts that I don't need. I will need the glass for this particular project. So what I'm going to do is use a strong adhesive and a hot glue gun to attach the glass back to the frame. need the glass to be as sturdy as possible, and because the gap between the glass and what's going to hold it in place is too far, so I'm going to be removing some parts of what was behind the frame to attach it to the glass before securing it. If you're new to my channel, it's so great to have you here. Now don't forget to click on the subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my latest videos. This is a requested video, and this was the picture that was sent to me, and I fell in love with the design, so I'm going to be using some Dollar Tree items to recreate this look. In the picture that was sent to me, it had something on 4 sides holding it up, and it was part of the design, so I will be using corner braces to mimic that look. And I'm using these sizes of corner braces. Now I will be taking them out and spray painting them gold to go with the gold frame that I'm working with. I'll get the midpoint of all 4 sides before attaching the corner braces. You should know that because the Dollar Tree frames are not strong and you cannot just have screws go directly on them, you have to pre-drill holes first. So that's what I'm doing. I'm pre-drilling holes first on the frames before using screws to attach the corner braces to it. I'm going to keep this aside and take a Dollar Tree chopping mat. And I took just 1 sheet, and I will be cutting down this to the size that I would need for the project. I measured what I needed from the frame, and then when I had my pieces, I just folded them to make it easy for me to attach all of these 4 pieces together that would fit in the frame. I went ahead to attach all of the pieces using a strong adhesive and hot glue. Now that I have the size that I want, I will be attaching this to the frame here, and I will be attaching it with hot glue and screws, making sure that the chopping mat is properly secured to the corner braces. To give this an interesting look, I will be adding Dollar Tree confetti, and I will be using just the gold part And for my adhesive, I'll be using Mod Podge. I'm applying Mod Podge to the chopping mats and to the glass that comes with the Dollar Tree frame too as well. When I was done, I let this dry, and then the next day, this is what it looked like. It was so shiny and pretty. Now I'm going to keep this aside and then add the other corner braces that I have to the existing corner braces that are on the frame. This is going to elevate the height and also add to the design like the inspiration photo. I need this to be extended out more, so I'll be using PVC. And you should know the wood can be used too as well. I'm going to cut this to smaller pieces and spray paint them gold and attach it to the design. For the very top, I'm going to be using a piece of wood, and this is a chalkboard that I will be covering the smooth part with gold contact paper. I already marked out where all of the 4 pieces that is on the design are going to be on the board to make it easy for me to know exactly where I'm supposed to have pre-drilled holes on. So these are the 4 points. Now I'm going to have this attached to the 4 points, and I'll be using screws to attach them together. I'll have to cover the corner braces because it's obvious that they're corner braces, right? So I'm going to be using bling wrap, and I got the gold. I cut it down to size and I glued it on. I'll be using remote control push lights for this particular lighting DIY. And the lights can be put either on the wood like this, or you can just flip it over and have the lights placed inside to make it easy to have access to put it in or take it out. At a point, I didn't really like the bling wrap that I put here, so I'm going to be changing that to napkin holders. And the link for this and all of the items I use for this project is going to be down in the description box below. I'll be using command strips to mount this to the ceiling, and this can hold up to 16 pounds. And here's what it looks like on the ceiling. And I really love the way it turned out. It is close to the inspiration photo. I mean, I did change 1 or 2 things, but I love the way it turned out, and it's so pretty. Apart from having this mounted on the ceiling, you can also have this on the wall. I mean, why not? I tried it out, and this is what it looks like as a wall sconce. So whichever way you have this mounted, it's still gonna look pretty.
Together we'll go far. Created a space. In my head it was empty, but I know that I want to be where you are. I was denied. I had
I'll be starting off today's DIY project with Dollar Tree mirrors and frames that will be glued on this Walmart mirror. I'll be removing the parts that I don't need and leaving just the mirror and the frame itself. Now the frame is going to be glued on to the Walmart mirror with a strong adhesive. Now I'm going to be gluing on the glass to the frames using a clear construction adhesive.
If you're new to my channel, it's so great to have you here. Now don't forget to click on the subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my latest videos.
I got these mirrors from another store, but you can also get mirrors like this from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to be gluing these on top of the glass. It is very important to clean the glass before you glue anything to it to give it a better hold. I let this set overnight and then I turn it over to attach the twine that I'll be using to mount this on the wall. I attached the twine to the mid part of the mirror at the back, which wasn't really well balanced, so I will advise that if you are to use this method, the attachment should be at the upper part of the back of the mirror. This is a Dollar Tree flashlight, and I'll be using 3 for this project. It gives off light at the bottom and at the top. I'll be removing this part here, but this is optional. You can leave yours if you like. Now I'm going to prep this and spray paint them silver. I'm going to keep this aside and take Dollar Tree paper towel holders and bend them to the angle that I want for this project. A 90 degrees angle will be better for this project because it would sit well at the back of the mirror. I used a lot of pressure achieving this bend, but if you're not comfortable with this method, you can ask someone for help. Now I'm going to be attaching the flashlight to the paper towel holder with zip ties. And I did this in such a way that I still have access to the switch and the battery pack. I'll be covering up the zip tie that's showing here and other parts that don't look good in the eye with gems. The gems, when they are together like this, it looks like ice frost. Now for the back, I just cut a little piece of bling wrap and attached it at the top, leaving the bottom part because when opening the battery pack, it slides open, so it should be together with the bling wrap when you're doing that. I'll be attaching what I just made to the mirror with zip ties. I'll cover up the zip ties with gold acrylic paint. Now here's what it looks like when it's mounted on the wall.
The light that surrounds me. If we hold ourselves together, we'll go far. Created a space in my
This is such a beautiful and decorative piece that adds a little bit of lighting in the room. But then when you turn it upside down, you can use it to display your pictures in a mini gallery style. Whichever way you choose to mount this on the wall, it would still look pretty.
light that surrounds me.
Hey guys, this is a video on how I made a 3D entryway mirror table for almost the price of nothing. I also DIY drawers for this table with items that you least expect. Now let's get right to it. This is a small display stand that I got from the thrift store for $15. This mirror was thrown away by someone and I quickly picked it up. This is a high quality mirror that's close to 1/4 inch and it's perfect for my project. I used my mirror cutter to cut it to the length that I wanted. I kept that aside and started removing the legs that came with the display table. If you're new to my channel, it's so great to have you here. Now don't forget to click on the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my latest videos. These are the legs. And now the display case on its own is so heavy, so I decided not to use it at all. And then I took a TV stand that I don't use anymore and turned it over to see if it's something I could work with. I spray painted the legs black for now and kept to the side. I made points of where I would like to insert the legs, but I couldn't find a larger bit, so I'm going to be using scissors to form the holes. I'm making the holes wide enough so it can fit the screws that are in the middle of all the legs. Now that that's done, the next thing will be to put in all of the legs and secure it with actual screw nails that came with each and every one of the legs. This is what it looks like after I had all the legs put in place. Now to cover up the back, I'm going to be using trifle boards. I'm using 2 trifle boards that has been cut to size. And then I'm going to be gluing both boards together so that I can have the white background in the front and at the back. I'm using school glue in the middle. And then later on, I'm going to go around the edges with a hot glue gun. I place it at the back, and I'm going to be attaching it using a hot glue gun. After I was done with that, I used tape to measure out where I want my partition to be, and I'm going to be using a strong foam board that I got from Walmart for the partition. These are corner braces that I'll use as part of the support for the boards. I stopped here for now and then quickly looked for a box that would fit the bottom part. And so I took a large Amazon box that I've had at home for a while and then took out the parts that I don't need and cut out the measurements that would fit the space. I started painting and then I stopped here and glued the inner flaps with a hot glue gun just to make it stronger. And then I'm going to be using a white foam board on top of it. When I was sure that it fit properly, I glued it on using a hot glue gun. I then later used a black foam board that I cut to size for the front and then made lines to make it easy for me when I'll be gluing the box to the foam board. I glued the box to the foam board using a hot glue gun and a strong adhesive. And then for the sides, I'm going to be using a strong poster board that I got from Walmart. Now that I was sure of the height that I wanted for this, I went ahead and continued with the support by adding wall brackets. There will be space in the middle because I'm going to be having drawers on both sides. I will use a strong adhesive to hold the board to the braces and the brackets. Like I said earlier, the middle part is going to be empty. This extension here is too much, but it's going to act as a stopper for my drawer. I also considered the size of the wall brackets when I was making the drawer. I will not be putting heavy items in any of these drawers, but you can skip this step altogether if you already have drawers. These are plastic trays that I've had for a while now and I wanted using for a DIY project, so I'm going to use it for this project. I spray painted them white using a white gloss spray paint. I cut a white foam board to fit the size. That's going to go here. And then I'm doing it because the trays are not straight. So after putting this, I'm going to be putting a smaller one so that it will be easy for me to glue the front to it. And I used a black foam board for the front. And the height is perfect for the space I want to use it for. The edges are rough, so I'll be using craft sticks to cover it. And now back to the body. The wood over here is supporting the wood by the side, so I couldn't take it off. But the space that's here is perfect for the tray that I used in making the drawers. This is the space that I was talking about, so I'm just going to use this little board here and glue it in the middle to separate them. After that, I put in the bottom part. Because of the design that I wanted, I took out all of the drawers and spray painted the legs and then the outer parts of the table, leaving the top. And I also spray painted where I had the craft sticks on the first layer of drawers. I'm going to be using this mirror duct tape to cover the sides of the top of the table because it's an allowance that I gave when I was cutting the mirror. So then I placed the mirror on top to see how it was going to fit first before I glued it on. This is a set of 2 silver-plated plastic bowls that I got from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to be attaching tape on both sides so that I can just glue it on to see what it looks like first before I continue with the rest. I'm attaching the bowls to the drawers using a hot glue gun first before I go around with an A6000 glue. I also used these bowls to decorate a Walmart mirror. A short clip of how the mirror turned out is besides this video. And the link is going to pop up at the top right, and it's also going to be in the description box below. I will be using a strong adhesive, and this is an A6000 glue, and I will apply it in between all of the plates to make sure that they're all well secured. These are crystal knobs that I'm going to be using, and the link is going to be in the description box below. I glued the knobs here, here, and here. So I used 3 knobs for both sides. And by the side of the table, there's this space because of the extension of the wood at the bottom. I cut a foam board and covered it up with the mirror tape. And then use hot glue at the back because the tape does not adhere properly. I made 2 of them for both sides and then glued them on. So for this project, I have 2 drawers up here and then 1 at the bottom. So the 3rd knob that I put that's at the lower sides are just there to make it look uniform. And the ones that don't have knobs, I use gems on them. I just love the 3D effect that these bowls have given to this table, and it has also made it so unique and so interesting. I'm probably going to use the top drawers for batteries and my wide range of remotes for lighting, and then the bottom for throws. I have seen a couple of tables with interesting looks that cost a lot in stores, but I'm so glad that with a thrift find, a forgotten stand, and a neglected mirror, I was able to make a fancy 3D entry table for myself. So I basically spent money on just the bowls, brackets, braces, because I had every other thing at home, including things like the screws, the crystal knobs, and paint. Which brings me to a total of $30 that I spent for the whole project. Let me know what you guys think about this 3D entry table in the comment section below.